So I applaud this mom for being vocal, for not acting like her child is the property of the states. These are your children, and you have the authority as their parent to be vocal about what they are teaching your child at.
So what they're teaching your child is something different. We're going to get to that.
Is that what the blue people?
No, the blue people we're going to get to. You want to do that guy first?
All right. So I want to introduce our new mascot.
Yep.
He imitates everything I say.
Followed by a little child noise.
So, I got to take a shit. You got to take a shit? I'm asking you.
This is what happens when you let a child into the studio. We were going to talk about kids being, kids.
Fight!
Yeah, we're going to talk about good old-fashioned kids fighting, and then you got to bust this thing out. All right, so it looks like we have more light.
So this is our new mascot. Say your name, Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell. Yeah, that's your name. Well, Mitch McConnell has one special trick that he does. And that's what, and what that is.
Just leave it down there. I think they'll get.
See it.
Yeah, but we'll show it to them in a second.
If you feed him his magic food, guess what he does? I broke him. I think I didn't put him on right. Okay, so.
Well, whatever. You gotta leave him alone for a minute. This thing's.
Gotta let them see him. They can't
I think you
see
just
him.
do this. There. Go ahead, show him what it is.
There he goes.
Show your child. Oh, yeah. She poops magic poop. Poops magic poop into a magic see-through toilet bowl, just like everybody wants to do.
See, he's got his nice pink nuggets down there. Oh shit! Whoops.
This is ridiculous.
It's not coming out.
The things that we do with left to our own devices.
Oh, there it goes.
There he goes. Oh yeah.
Oh, there he goes. He's pooping.
Yeah, I think they can see it. Yeah.
I'm just making sure. It would be a shame if they couldn't see it.
This thing is.
All right. So that's Mitch.
You're gonna put it right in front of what you're about to read.
He's still pooping.
We're going to hell for this.
Us and a bunch of little kids.
It's gonna be our new thing.
Anyway.
If you got
say goodbye to Mitch.
If you got however much money to waste.
He's got some work to do.
All right.
All right. So
you're not gonna be able to read through his nugget.
I'm gonna put him up.
Put him
here.
in the window so you can look outside.
There's enough room there. Put him up here.
It's just gonna babble in the ball. Right.
All right.
This is how you run a quality show. Oh God.
Should I shut him up?
No, that's fine. Do you want to talk about this, or do you want to talk about the blue people?
Why don't we? Is blue people funny?
Kind of. Yeah. Not really. I just found it's just one of those things that I hear about and then I repeat because I found it to be interesting.
Okay.
It's called rabbit hole thing. Every once in a while, I'll hear it.
Why don't we do that at the end?
Looking at himself in the mirror. That was excellent.
Okay. So.
Getting smacked around.
This the title of this article that we're going to read It's from the Houston
Said
Press.
it's gonna make you insane.
I gotta turn him off. I don't care if he's not done taking a shit. Yeah, I don't care if you're not done taking a shit.
Fatality.
I think it got the better of you. Anyway.
I think he's possessed my soul. All right.
What?
Go to here.
Oh, okay. Sorry. What?
Okay. This is from the Houston Press.
Fistful of.
Teach your daughters to hit people who touch them.
Good.
There's an old saying that violence never solves anything.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to
Come from
quote.
Naked force has resolved more issues throughout history than any other factor. The contrary opinion, that violence never solves anything, is wishful thinking at its worst. People who forget that always pay.
Oh, that comes from. It's like this the greatest movie of all
Robert
time.
A. Heinlein's Starship Troopers, and that was
Yeah.
from the movie.
Yep.
The Me Too campaign has touched me deeply in many ways.
Hashtag me too.
Yes.
Don't forget
Partly
that.
because I was myself the victim of sexual assault by a male relative. Partly because covering rape culture has been a staple of my work for many years. And yes, partly because I have a daughter. No, I didn't start caring about feminism just because she was born and I had an epiphany that women were people too. However, I do live
No one believes
constant.
that.
What?
No one believes that.
Oh, right. However, I know you don't. However, I do live constantly with the fear of her entering a world that treats her gender as objects and second-class citizens. If you think that's not the case, would you kindly just call me a cuck in the comments and piss off? The adults who can read graphs are talking. I used to tell her that when someone was being mean to her, she should inform a teacher. That's what we always tell children. Authority is the answer. It makes sense. We are authority to them. Mother, and by proxy, father, is the name for God on the lips and hearts of all children,
What?
as James O'Barr once
that's-
said. Lately, though, I've been wondering, is it right to teach our daughters that authority is the answer to problems that afflict them, particularly ones that are sexual in nature? Let's review.
I don't know. Tell them to start punching.
That's what I say. A woman is currently suing the city of Houston over a rape kit that sat untested for 5 years. More than 6,000 women are in a position to join her suit. Meanwhile, the raping does continue. How much rape is going on in the United States? No one really knows. Our recording methods are highly flawed, and rape and sexual assault remain some of the most unreported crimes in the nation. Why? Because many victims find the justice system unhelpful at best and a type of re-victimization at worst.
Well, yeah.
Contrary to
Most women don't think rape kits are fun.
Right. You have to go
Insult
through.
to injury right there.
You basically have to go through another kind of sexual
Invasive.
assault,
Yeah. No, it's just invasive for sure.
an invasive procedure involving your genitals that, in addition, on top of the assault. Yeah. Contrary to popular belief among the meat-headed part of the population, rape survivors are not automatically showered with riches and praise in this country. I really like that statement.
No, it wasn't like, I mean, that, come on. You have to have known this forever, right?
Of course I knew this forever,
who's this
but
who's the audience of this? Me? You know, men in general?
I've heard a lot of men who seem to imply that
It's just,
making
we've
false
been going
rape
around
allegations.
and around since that jury said,
I
that
actually
chick
know-
was dressed like she was
I actually
asking
know
for it.
a guy who thinks that women like to make sexual assault accusations for the attention.
All right, well, you know him?
Yeah.
Should unknow him.
He told me that when the Me Too movement happened, he was more concerned about, he has 2 daughters and 2 sons, and his concern was for his sons being falsely accused, not his daughters being.
Well, tell him
assaulted.
to not perpetrate and no rapey attitude or rapey activities or things that might be misconstrued as rapey. Might want to try doing that. You know, like your kids shouldn't, your sons shouldn't worry about being falsely accused of rape.
If they didn't do anything
I don't think I
rapey.
don't know that I've ever put myself in a position to be falsely accused of rape.
Yeah, actually, Bo of the Fifth Column did a really good
I just don't put myself
video
in that
about that.
situation.
Well, that's what he said. It's like they talk about women not putting themselves in rapey situations. Well, what about men? You know, if you're alone with a girl,
That you just met who might be intoxicated.
keep your touching hands in your
Yeah.
pockets.
Yeah,
That's
get her
what-
get her phone number.
Get her phone number. Don't be alone in a room.
When she
with
doesn't
her.
remember anything the next day, just be like, "Man, I was the charming, handsome one that you met." Hee hee hee. Bam.
Right.
You're in. No rape.
That's good.
Anyway.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
Mostly they're disbelieved, ignored, scrutinized, and punished. There is no magical rape fairy dropping rape points onto the women who speak out, or the men for that matter. If you want to start naming people who have parlayed a rape accusation into fame and fortune, and have me start naming accused rapists who suffered nothing harsher than a few angry tweets, we can play that game. I'm going to win, though.
Looking at you, Bill Cosby.
This is why I've started telling my daughter that if someone touches her chest, her ass, or between her legs without her permission, to punch them in the goddamn face. Aim for the nose, sweetheart. You don't want to catch their teeth and get a cut. That's a good way to get an infection.
Hey.
You want nose or eyes, and maybe use that front choke daddy taught you.
Oh, ooh, that's
Turn your forearms.
That sounded a little weird to me.
Turn your forearms so the bone goes against their carotid and jugular. That's what makes them pass out. Can she get in trouble for violence at school? Yes, she can.
Oh, yeah.
And should. Violence is illegal. Note, I didn't say wrong. I said illegal. The two are not synonyms. Gays and lesbians getting married was illegal. It was never wrong. I have zero confidence in any school district or legal system to handle sexual assault on the first try. I've known a lot of women in my life, and nary a one of them who has been raped or sexually assaulted has ever come up to me and said, "Gee, the legal system sure did knock it out of the park the first time this happened to me. I've been in the room with a freaking unicorn."
I met some people in Vallejo that were talking about like dudes be pimping like teenage girls, like teenage guys are pimping teenage girls, or even teenage girls are pimping teenage girls.
What do you mean?
I heard about this first. I heard of it, but I heard it from this person. I was like, I believe that Vallejo rolls hard. I guess, you know, maybe little Eva was getting her three chip, you know, but it's like,
So they're doing that as like a side hustle. They're trying to,
yeah. Apparently, I was like, I've never heard of such a thing.
except on South Park. That's the
Yeah.
only place I heard.
I've never
of
heard
it.
of like. I mean, maybe I was sheltered growing up, but yeah, or I just avoided pimps.
When I was a teenager, there were a lot of boys my age who tried to get me to go in the car with them, and I always just assumed that they were trying to rape me. It never occurred to me that maybe they were going to try to pimp me.
Apparently, that was a thing. I was like, I'd never heard of that. But again, that you're talking about like that, like when I was in school, a girl punched a boy. It was like, whatever. Like no one, you got laughed at if a girl punched you,
Mm-hmm.
and you cried or something, you know. But you never hit back. was
Oh,
like
in
kind
my
of a
school they
rule.
did. In my school they did. Yeah,
Well,
you hit a
she grew
girl
up
would
on
hit
the
a guy,
mean
she'd get her
streets
ass
of,
kicked by a guy,
You grew up
Yeah.
on the mean streets of Berkeley.
and they both get suspended. Yeah. Now, undoubtedly, her punching Hansy McGee's in their stupid rapey faces will necessitate a conference.
At least he was smart. Said or whatever. Said don't go for the balls because that you get in trouble for. You can punch them you can gouge out their eyes and pull their hair and punch them. But you punch them in the balls and
Then you lose the sympathy of the
you
male
lose
principal.
sympathy.
Yeah. Schools love conferences like Hollywood producers love desperate women and uncomfortable couches.
We'll lay out the rules here on Nothing Yet Live for the almost rapey punching. What the level of, like if it's a touch, what does the guy deserve? You know, like where does it depend on where? We'll have
I
to come up
think
with that thing.
anything is, I would say a punch in any painful
What if it's an accident?
place. Oh, if it's an accident, that's different.
How do you know though? How do you know if it was an accident?
I think I know.
Let's go down this rabbit hole. Does the blame fall on the
I've been
person who pushed the
I'm pretty
person
sure
into-
I'm pretty sure I've been accidentally touched. I'm pretty sure I've been deliberately touched, and I think I know the difference.
She is touched, that's for sure.
Well, yeah, but in a good way.
Carry on. No nut punching. Hansy McGee.
That's fine with me. I have no problem talking about the appropriateness of my girl's kung fu, but we're going to discuss why. If she punched someone for calling her a name, that's not cool.
Right.
If she punched someone for deciding her bikini area were public grounds, then you can go to hell. Sure, put it on her permanent record. Heck, suspend her. Last time a school decided that being needlessly sexist was a good idea, I made it national news. I can always do it again. Is violence the answer to sexual harassment? Of course it isn't. The ideal answer is living in a world where this sort of thing is swiftly dealt with at all levels of authority with a zero tolerance policy. Anytime y'all want to make that happen, you let me know. Until then, I'm teaching my daughter the proper way to throw a punch. And if you don't like it, teach your kid to act. Teach your kid the proper way to act.
You know what we do to women that punch dudes?
Give them That's what they used to do.
That's right. Oh, we don't do that anymore?
Yeah, I think that was made illegal.
Hey, if you think a boy is being rapey, I mean, it probably wouldn't have just started with walking up and grabbing the chick's ass. You think it would have just like, dude, just like, usually it's like a dare too. Bro, I dare you to like.
Not my high school. In my high school, it was just.
Plus, you might have, I mean,
it
in
was
high school, you
walking to
might have like a
class.
boyfriend to worry about. Boyfriend may come after your ass with all of his friends.
No. The
Hey,
people
you know what? There's a time and a place to put your hands on a girl in school. It's called square dancing class.
Oh,
Never
you'll have
opt
to
out.
tell
Of,
me that
never opt
sometime.
out of square dancing class. It's a nice excuse. Oops, my hand. Just, don't fall. Don't
Oh,
do that.
you'd get punched in the
Don't do
face
that.
now.
I would maybe a less handsome dude. Hey. At least
Rule
I'm not-
number 1 for sexual assault: be good looking.
That's right.
You don't want to get
Ask
punched.
anybody, rich or good looking. So blue people.
Oh, we're not done.
We're
We're not
Oh,
done.
we're not done.
I want to.
I want to talk about blue people. So
I
bad.
know you do. We'll get to it. Answering physical assault with physical assault is perfectly appropriate, and I have long since stopped caring about the concept of polite when it comes to those who feel boundaries are optional. It's easier to seek forgiveness than live those who feel sorry, I get distracted when it's moving.
Hey, well, so many jokes.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna get punched in the face.
No, that's
I
gonna get
feel
edited.
empowered now. It's
You
easier
wanna
to
edit
seek
all those
forgiveness than live in a world that tolerates the endless sexual assault of women. Tell your daughter it's okay to punch people who touch her inappropriately and without her consent. It's the lesson that their own parents failed to impart. I'll take a few bad conduct grades over another minute with this rape culture any day.
Yeah, well, be prepared to pay for her fucking nose when the dude crushes it. And she has a fucked up nose all through high school. Prepared to deal with that aftermath because there is a dude out there that may touch you and shit calls off and punches him, gets him good.
Oh, you're talking
then
about having
he
the
retaliates.
parents of the. Oh, he retaliates.
And
That's
just
what would have
caves her
happened.
fucking face in.
That's
right?
why I didn't fight back in high school when I was sexually assaulted, because I knew that
No, they should be like, hey,
a bunch
dude,
of guys would jump me.
hey, Johnny Touchy, you're gonna have to this is like the 15th time you've been called out on this. You're out of here or something.
In my high school, the
A girl could.
the students didn't report it, generally speaking, and the few that did, the administration swept it under
A girl
the rug.
could get a order of protection.
Not back in the 80s.
No, I mean now though.
Well, they could sue. I've heard of parents suing the school
Yeah.
when their daughters are touched inappropriately by another student.
Hey, kick their ass. I don't care because I don't inappropriately touch women. Well,
Define inappropriate, right?
there's a list on the wall.
And you could talk to the wall about it.
So,
Okay, so tell me about blue people.
Okay. I sometimes go down rabbit holes. I found this. I overheard this thing, and so I listened to this thing about blue people. Now everybody knows about the guy that drank that colloidal silver until it turned into, they called him Papa Smurf.
Right.
but it killed him, right?
Mhm.
And he basically poisoned the system, right? Now, colloidal silver, they all tell you like, oh, you should take it. It is a good antibiotic, but if you listen to the history, you'll realize it's more like a last ditch, antimicrobial thing. It's like, it's kind of like that's the last thing you want to use, because while it is antimicrobial, it is poisonous too. It's toxic. And so it's too much colloidal silver turns blue, right? But way back in the day, this guy was French, and he was always noted for like having this like blue hue to it, this blue tinge to his skin. And he moves to like Kentucky,
From France to Kentucky.
Blue Hills, Kentucky, or whatever. And he married this like
Blue
striking,
Hills?
whatever, Blue Hills, Kentucky. So he married this strikingly pale redheaded chick, and this guy's name was Fugate. And because what happened was 4 out of his 7 kids were born blue, like strikingly, adorably blue.
Like little
Blue
Smurfs.
people. They really existed. Yeah, it's this Fugate clan of people. And then they sort of started hiding up in the mountains, and it was like they were like interbreeding and stuff. And so this doctor went on this like search for these blue people, and so he waited around. He saw one blue person come into a clinic, and then he just started hanging out at the clinic and started seeing more and more of these blue people coming in. So they were really blue people. They had this thing called metahemonemia, something like that. And it's a natural thing that they have. It's this, they said it's this super rare mutation of skin where these people are perfectly fine.
So it had nothing to do with colloidal silver.
No, they were just born blue and like adorably blue.
So like baby blue.
Like, yeah. They're like Fremen all over.
So it's in their
It's in their DNA.
it's in their pigment. It's
So
not
this
because
guy-
they've got veins poking out or anything.
So this guy studies these people for a while, and he mixes up this like concoction called like a something meta, root base inhibitor reuptake, right? It's this like hugely long thing. And he gives them this shot, and within minutes they turn like normal, like a normal skin
So
color.
they lost their magic.
I guess so.
They lost their superpowers.
But yeah,
So how did that work?
it was just like this really rare anomaly. The fact that
So
the
how
one
did they
chick,
shut it off? What
it
was
was
in
this
the
uptake
shot?
inhibitor.
Okay.
They had this overproduction.
Expression? Overproduction?
Yeah, overexpression of this because they weren't getting this reuptake inhibitor. It wasn't shutting them off. It was weird. So, but it was crazy. It was just like, I mean, imagine like, you ever seen a jaundice baby?
Mhm.
That's a person turning yellow.
Yeah. Stick
them in the sun.
Right. That's true. Yeah.
Lay them out in the sun.
Or put them under ultraviolet lights.
Put them in a tanning bed. But yeah, it was neat. So there was this whole family called the Fugates, Fugate. So,
Did you have any
Got it.
photos of them?
no, I just heard about it and wanted to say something about that. There are people like that have different color, skin. But it's just weird. It could be, like actual blue people. What's crazy was some of them got the treatment and some of them wore like blue as a badge of honor. It didn't affect them really negative in any way. They were blue. I thought that'd be cool. I'd like to be blue.
Yeah, me too. I'd like to be able to shut. So you get this injection and it shuts it off permanently.
Yeah.
The blue never comes back.
No. One shot, done. Yeah.
Huh.
Check it out. They lived up in Appalachia.
The Fugates.
A few games, yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for paying attention to us and listening for a little bit. Hope you guys learned some stuff. Like there are blue people.
I think that's the best lesson I learned today.
That's what I learned today. We should bring that back. The lesson comes to the end.
There are blue
There
people.
are blue people running around somewhere up in the mountains of Appalachia. Hopecraft CBD, check them out. HopeXT.com. There's some flags from them, 30% off our STFUJ.
Mm-hmm. And dailyapparelstore.com, Grace and Babcock, get your swag.
Yep. And get your stickers from us if you want them. And Sam on Slingshots. Get yours.
I'm getting mine.
And that's it for today.
That's it. That's it for the week.
Blue people, did for the week. That's it. See you guys on Monday.
Happy Fuck It Friday.
Last show's on the 20th. I have no idea what day that is.
I think it's Monday. Not this coming Monday, the Monday after next.
I don't believe that you know that. You don't know that at all.
I do know that. I don't believe there's going to be an outro.
It was a fun weekend. Yeah, there is. It's summer.
There's
It's
a
like
fun
right
week.
here. I think it's right here.
Huh?
It's right here.
We'll find out.
It's right there.
We'll find out.
I can see clearly when you're gone on myself.
Is that for Jerry? Is Jerry the one who loves that song?
No, Anna hates this.
Anna hates it. I think Jerry hates it. I think Jerry hates it too.
Don't
She's
hate
on
on
a plane right now.
She is.
Probably.
No, she's
No,
here.
she's landed.
Landing.
She would have
She's
landed by now.
The Zeagle has landed.
Good one. We just came up with that.
And on that note,
Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.
I am Coach Tyler.
I am your Miss Parker.
This is Nothing Yet Loud.
Darn, that's the end.
And if you don't know,